Hi, I'm Rhonda.
I'm Angie.
And we're still in Edinburgh, and we are Adventures in Nomadness.
So how was our first night in the little teeny tiny RV?
Harsh. Well,
yeah, it was a little rough.
It's not much of a pad. So yeah, sore ribs, sore hips.
We might have to fix that somehow.
Yeah, I think we'll be shopping today.
we might be walking back on the bus with a big huge roll of foam or something.
So we're walking next to a really busy road going to the bus station to go into Edinburgh from our campsite.
So we'll show you what we're doing today. That's our view this morning of the castle. So we had a bit of a rough morning getting up because the RV was not very comfortable sleeping. We kind of knew that might be the case in advance. But hey, we're going to make up with that with some coffee. And they know how to do a great presentation here in Scotland. Only the British. And you can't be in a bad mood when you have coffee and Edinburgh Castle. Wow. So a little history on this fascinating place. Back in the 1st century, there was tribal leaders that did some trading with the Romans here, and this is just volcanic rock, so there was nothing here other than, little... Well, they had wood fortified structures and walls on top of this rock when they first started off. So they managed to negotiate with the Romans rather than being totally destroyed. And it wasn't until 1140 where Scottish leaders were actually asked to be here by King David to show up at King David's castle to enact some laws and stuff. So dating back to the very 1st century, things have been built on this rock more and more. It's been quite the fortified area for thousands of years. So that's the history that they provided. I'm sure that cultures that haven't been documented probably use this rock in some form or another. I'm just thinking it's like the history of this particular area, just because it's so defendable, makes a lot of sense. People would live on it. So our advice to you, if you come visit, don't come in August. It's the busiest month, which we knew in advance. There's a lot of festivals going on in Edinburgh right now. We got here right when they opened. So if you do visit Edinburgh and don't like crowds, come in August. We didn't really have an option because we have a work commitment in the end of September. So we had hoped to be here more in September, and it just happened to be this way. But come early. I would still buy your tickets in advance. Yeah. We did buy the Explorer Pass. So the Explorer Pass is great. It gets you in about 77 different castles and historic sites, and it lets you skip the line. So I bought them online yesterday, and they tell you to go to the ticket office. Well, they have a separate office, which worked out really great. I was like, oh, good Lord, I'm going to have to stand in the ticket line to get it, and we didn't. So we just walked right in to the pre-purchase tickets, got our pass, and then went to the front of the line. So when we go to Stirling Castle, our pass is good for 5 days. We're going to Stirling Castle on Monday, and we could totally skip the line there as well. And there's a bunch of other places we'll be able to see over the next couple days that won't cost us anything. So, good pass. Buy your tickets early and get here as early as you can. That is, as soon as they open, because it makes it a lot easier to get around. Quite the view. Okay, it's kind of creepy down here. This is the prison area, and there was a dungeon. At one time, there was a lot of torturing going on. And believe it or not, during the American Revolution, there were prisoners of war here as well. There was also Jacobites after the Jacobite uprising, and Black Bart pirates, so a lot of pirates were here as well. We're in the Palace of Holyroodhouse. This is where the Queen comes for vacation, basically. This is her palace in Scotland, and we're going up the same stairs that the Queen goes up. How cool is that? I'm whispering why? Because there's lots of people around listening to their little audio guide things. I don't know. Feels like the right thing to do. Welcome to our morning. So here's what it takes, and maybe we'll show this on a video tomorrow when we're getting ready to leave. But this is our fridge, and in order to get everything into it, we have to get everything off. So you see piles of stuff everywhere that we've moved off, and we discovered our fridge was way too low. So our yogurt for breakfast is completely frozen, our beer is frozen, our meat and cheese for our lunch is completely frozen. So I'm gonna go take a shower, and Rhonda's gonna sit here while the yogurt thaws out for our breakfast.
No, I'm not.
Rhonda's gonna sneak over to the teepee at our campsite and get coffee without me. I can see that already.
No, but what I might do is just have plain old ordinary yogurt. I mean, what I might do is have just plain ordinary dry cereal for breakfast.
You can throw some whiskey on it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're on day 2 of our full day Edinburgh trip, and we're on the historic Royal Mile. So it stretches all the way from Edinburgh Castle all the way to Holyrood Palace, where the Queen comes, and we visited that yesterday, and the castle yesterday. We want to show you a little bit more of the mile. Lots of touristy shops, but lots of historic spots as well.
So I think on docket for today is to do a little hiking.
Arthur's Seat.
And it has great views up there. And then, I don't know.
We'll see where the day takes us.
Yeah.
We don't really plan anything out.
Now, today's kind of a free day. We're not necessarily have any days that aren't free, but
I'm sure it'll involve more whiskey tasting.
The way we travel is we have a list of things that would be interesting to see, and then we go there and just to go to the location and just kind of wander around. And if we make it to those spots, we do. And sometimes we don't.
Yeah, so come wander with us. Big house closed. There was a scene from Outlander filmed here, I guess season 3. I just started watching it. I'm totally hooked on Outlander. I only saw the first episode, and I was watching the second episode on the airplane, and I was starting to fall asleep. So I have to rewatch that one, and then I have to get Rhonda hooked on it because it'll be more fun watching it with you. So it's kind of funny. We were looking at the roofs, going, I wonder how they keep those slate tiles on the roofs. And then there's this little courtyard with a roofing company, basically, and they have a mock-up of how the roofs are held. This is totally slate right here, and there's just kind of various nails holding these in. Of course, they're overlapped. So I think they just drill some holes or find some holes where they can and fasten them in. That's pretty cool. See it over here too. Yeah, so these holes are drilled, so they drill holes in them.
So I'm doing the right thing, and I'm binning my litter.
Hey, we're heading up Arthur's Seat up to the summit, which is way up there. And pretty nice little trail, so we should have some pretty awesome views of Edinburgh down below. There's a lot of people on this trail. It's pretty popular. I'm not sure how far it is, but we'll let you know how long it took us when we get up there. Alright, well that is Arthur's Seat behind us. And we're going to finish climbing up there, and this is an extinct volcano, and on the way back down there's some ruins and some kind of cool ancient stuff up on this ancient volcano too. But tons of people. This is probably the most crowded hike I've ever been on in my life. But that's okay.
We've never climbed Mount Everest, but I suspect the masses of people up here is like that, except that you don't have the extreme.
Yeah, so this is the Everest of Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Okay, we made it to the top of Arthur's Seat. You can see how popular it is. It's actually really cool. So I'll show you the ancient volcanic rock, extinct volcano that we're on. A little bit of a scramble the last, I don't know, 20 yards or so. So gorgeous. You have a 360-degree view up here.
It's definitely takes a little huff coming up because it's all uphill, and climbing because it's pretty rocky at the top. So if you have any issues, I would say you could try it and see how far you get.
It's awesome. There are all kinds of people around. Anybody can do it. On this cool hill. This is the remnants of a chapel that was built in, they believe, around 1400, no later than the 15th century. The only kind of recording they know of when it might have been built is they did find a record of the Pope authorizing repairs on this chapel in 1426. So here's what's left. I love this kind of stuff. It's so cool. Okay, what's the coolest thing about this trail to you?
I don't know, that there's all kinds of people on it from all kinds of countries, and they're all having a great time.
That's exactly what I was going to say, because it's a short hike, short but very steep hike. There's people of all nationalities, all languages. It's very international, and that's really cool. It's like everybody's just enjoying a day out.
Stumbled across another museum that's free, and it happens to be called The People's Story. So we're going to go check it out.
Today's the last day of the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, so we're checking out some of the last acts. It's a whole month-long festival, and all kinds of stuff going on. It started because there were some musicians and artists that wanted to be part of the arts festival, and they weren't allowed, so they took their part out to the Fringe of Edinburgh, and now the Edinburgh Fringe Festival is the largest arts festival in the world. It's massive, and there's I don't know how many venues, but the catalog for it was literally this thick.
It's a month long, so if you feel like coming to Edinburgh in August,
it's pretty crazy here though in August.
Clap along if you feel like that's what you wanna do. Will you bring me down? No, you cannot. No, you can't bring me down because my level's too high. To bring me down, I know you cannot. Bring me down because my level's too high. Bring me down, I know you cannot. Bring me down because my level's too high.
So we're on the Royal Mile, and we stepped into St. Giles Cathedral. I asked the docent when it was built, and she gave me a long answer because this was opened in 1124. But not in the condition or what it is right now, because it's been added and subtracted to many times over the last many centuries since it was opened. It actually opened as a Catholic church, and now it's a Presbyterian church. So that's also changed hands. But one of our favorite things to do in Europe is to step into these massively ornate and beautiful churches and cathedrals. They're just pieces of art in themselves. So get a photo permit, somebody go walk around and take some cool photos. I think now that we've been to church, it's time to go drink some whiskey. What do you think?
isn't that what everybody does?
Yeah. Did I really say that out loud? Anyway, we're doing the Scotch whiskey experience,
I was just having a
and we get to learn all
wee
about whiskey.
A bit like the malt here in the
little
malt
barrel
store,
ride.
you might say. It's waiting, it's vibing. Onwards and upwards. Well, downwards anyway.
If you can't tell, we're sitting in a barrel. It's kind of touristy, but super fun. Yeah.
Of this microscopic yet explosive living organism.
Never seen yeast. Looks like this.
Underestimated. Amazing.
The magic ingredient.
We do this during distillation. Now, pay attention. The liquid is heated in a pot still, and because alcohol boils at a lower temperature, it separates from the water. The vapor rises up the neck and is cooled and condensed back into a liquid by a copper coil immersed in cold water, known as... Here we see the...
So this is me trying an Isla, which is the smokiest, peatiest whiskey there is, and I already know I don't like it, but you know, it's in front of me, I'm going to try it. How do you really feel? I feel like I just drank a bottle of Campo Finique. Nope. Not doing Isla.
It's really not that bad.
Yes, it is.
If you like scotch and you like smoky scotch, it's definitely smoky.
Oh man, too smoky.